In a recent video, Zuckerberg announced that he would decrease the amount of censorship on Instagram and Facebook. Zuckerberg says that Facebook and Instagram went too far in content moderation, which is also censorship, due to social and political pressure, and that they will copy and adopt Twitter instead with their community notes for Instagram and Facebook moving forward. Zuckerberg claims that he cares about giving a voice. This, of course, is convenient wording and completely a business strategy that has nothing to do with morals or doing the right thing. As the saying goes, it's when things are hard that people show who they really are. And now with Trump's recent inauguration, of course, it's easy and profitable to claim to want to protect free speech. But we all saw who Zuckerberg was when the Biden administration was doing massive censorship during COVID. As people wrote on X, Elon bets on principles, Zuck bets on profits. One shapes the future, the other person sells it. Or the quote, Elon made a moral decision, Zuck made a business decision. Lastly, quote, Elon acted for humanity, Zuckerberg acted for himself, end quote. Also, I kind of wanted to give Mark Zuckerberg a chance to defend himself in long form so that he could maybe say what has happened. Had he taken psychedelics or what had happened? So I wanted to see what had made him change to finally stop preventing other adults from speaking. But it didn't take me more than 7 minutes and 15 seconds into the Joe Rogan podcast of January 10th to realize that Mark knew absolutely nothing about the topic he claimed to care so much about. So here Mark is incorrectly stating that yelling fire in a crowded theater is a legitimate basis for censorship.
Even people who are like the most ardent First Amendment, defenders, the Supreme Court has this clear precedent that's like, all right, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. There are times when if there's an emergency, your ability to speak can temporarily be curtailed in order to get an emergency under control. So I was sympathetic to that.
By saying this, Mark Zuckerberg demonstrated that he doesn't have the faintest clue about the First Amendment or freedom of speech. He's the CEO of a company whose daily business is public communication in one of the largest countries in the world. And his rules apply to like literally half of the world's population, 5 billion people. And Zuckerberg lacks basic knowledge of one of the most important and sacred laws in human history. It's extremely concerning, and this goes to show my point that Mark Zuckerberg still cares just as little about freedom of speech as he did during the Biden administration, and that he once again has made it abundantly clear that he is not to be trusted. Like many people in the world, Zuckerberg makes it abundantly clear that, again, that he happily takes money and power over doing the right thing, whether that be trading people's personal information for more power, or the foundation and future of our democracy. Mark does not care and never will. If Zuckerberg is actually serious about protecting the sacred value of the West, that is freedom of speech, then he can do a Facebook files with full transparency into the censorship, just like X did, where they make everything public. Of course, that's not gonna happen, as we all know. It's a difficult position for us ordinary citizens, because we either end up with corrupt Zuckerberg, or we lose our connection to our friends and our belonging. So this makes Zuckerberg's crimes even worse, I'd argue, because he's taking advantage of vulnerable people in a vulnerable position. So just to quickly summarize, it's not illegal to yell fire in a crowded theater, and you can hear it from this lawyer directly.
And is still, to this day, if you watch news reports on First Amendment issues, or you read newspaper articles on First Amendment issues, you'll invariably run into somebody that talks about, well, we all know you can't yell fire in a crowded theater, which is just, that's not the law. It really never has been the law. And it's from a case that got overturned some 60 plus years ago.